This is the final project for Editorial, I think it's Editorial Design and Production. We had to create a book about 15 different fonts and then select one of our own fonts and create an additional little type specimen. So I've done a booklet. Main book itself had to design the layout of the book. In design, there are essays that we've had to format, spreads on different typefaces throughout history that we've had to design. Typeface, oh, you asked me the difference between a typeface and a font. So a typeface is a family of fonts, and within Helvetica there are different fonts. So there is Helvetica Bold Oblique, which is over here. There's Helvetica Regular, which is what you'd be using for like body copy, and then we've got different kinds here. So there's light oblique. We had to line everything. We selected the paper that we wanted to use. We had to determine how we would bind it. So mine has been hand stitched with an exposed spine. This is called a chain stitch. I've gone for a hardcover, so it was bookboard that I have covered in book cloth and then glued end paper to finish it.
Have you
and it's debossed.
So you did that in the printmaking studio downstairs?
So laser cut acrylic in Fab Lab and then placed the sheet on top of the board and run it through the printing press to create this debossed effect. And then this belly band has also been laser cut, and I made a little rubber stamp which I stamped the title on because this piece of paper was too long to run through the printer.
When you first started at Massey, did you have any idea what typography was?
I had like a super simple understanding. I did design, I did art in high school, but certainly I had no idea like how specific it got in terms of just how many options there are with the spacing of the letters, and have learnt so much even like throughout this course in first and second years as well. I think would just be quite difficult to wrap your head around on your own. Because it's so helpful to have someone who you can trust, who's like, you know, a total nerd about this kind of stuff, who you can go to and say, should I do it this way or should I do it that way? What's the best way to approach something? And so I think that has definitely been like a helpful part of coming here for sure. I've got my little type specimen here. So this is all about Remain, which is one of the typefaces that I've included in my book. So this is basically a modern like digital recreation of a super old font, and so I've used tracing paper on every second sheet to be able to compare the old font with the new one. We can see these are prints of the original typeface from it's like the 1400s, and then I've used tracing paper to compare my typeface with other recreations of the typeface that have come before.
With that original one that you've just shown, this would have been metal type.
Yeah, so this is metal type. So it's called a smoke proof, and so cutter, his name was Robert Grandjean, and he would carve the shape of each letter into a metal rod, and then if you hold that over a candle flame it would collect soot, and then he pressed it into the piece of paper, and so the soot would basically leave the exact shape of the letter, and that was more accurate for looking at the shape of the letter you've created than ink, because ink bleeds and the soot doesn't. So it's like a super accurate shape that you've got there. And I've basically taken images of smoke proofs that are held in a museum and blown them up so that you can compare them with the digital recreation.